Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. Short presentation today, brothers and sisters. A review of yesterday's presentation. It follows the vision, decision, and American Empire. Empire. Loss of empire. What's the signs? Signs are clear, brothers and sisters. But if you're blind, right, it doesn't matter how bright the light is, you can't see. And that's the state our people in right now. But something's going to happen in a minute. You'll be forced to see now what you do. That's sight. That's no question altogether. But you will see. The people sitting in darkness will see a great light. You'll see it. And what you do with it, that's no story altogether. That's your decision. Because we're not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you. If others want to try to take time to convince you, fine, that's their business. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just getting you information. That's the promise to you. I promise to you was information, right? And information on how to get out of here, return home. About the covenant, the promise made to you, and information you need to take advantage of that promise. Right? Somebody remind you of the Abrahamic covenant that was made. That was part of the covenant that you'll be made to. Because we know you'll be in darkness. That's why I say people sit in darkness, see the great light. You'll be sitting in darkness. But that's the light. The light is the covenant. Abrahamic covenant. Your identity. Right? Your mind, if you accept it. But you have to seek it and go for it. If you read on Mark, right? You had to go to Christ to get it. You came to him. You came and bowed down. Right? But he had to be present for you to do that. And you came to him and says, you bowed down. Can I have my mind back? You had to want it. He didn't come to you and grab you and say, here's your mind. You had to want it. It means you had to go to him and get it. So nobody's going to force you or make you anything. Okay? And then once you got it, right, those of you that get it, it's still your choice, because you have to spread that to your people. Because in Mark, the Christ leaves and said, no, you got to stay here. You got to spread that mission to the rest of your people. See? I got the light to you, and you have to go spread it to them. It's up to them during tribulation, where they want to come out of tribulation as, right, some everlasting life, everlasting shame and atonement. It was a choice. You see, it's two types that come out of there. Right? You chose the light. And those that didn't get through. Some get through to darkness. They chose darkness, so they stay in darkness forever. They chose darkness, stay in darkness. They still delivered. They chose darkness, they stay in darkness. It's a big choice, brothers and sisters. In other words, everlasting life. Two groups come out of there. Out of tribulation. It's choice, brothers and sisters. I'm not here to force you, convince you. Just here to give you the light. It says, people sit in dark, see the great light. They see somebody come in begging them, convincing them, and fighting with them. No, they see the great light. Now what do they do with that light? They choose the light or choose the darkness. Choose the darkness, then everlasting shame and atonement. Some will choose the darkness. So we're on, brothers and sisters. And the false vision, decision, and American Empire, and Amalek. So we're on, brothers and sisters. Amalek. Now, this question about Amalek, he keep talking about, in false Israel, Amalek, Amalek, Amalek. They said, see, if you look up Amalek, they told, well, let's go ahead and read it, brothers and sisters. So I'm keep this short. Just going to, what I did yesterday, right? It's a follow-up. This is what it said about Amalek. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt. Remember, you come out of Egypt. How you come out of bondage. How he met thee by the way and smote the highmost. No, they attacked you. They attacked the weakest of you, right? Even all that were feeble and behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God. He just came after you. When you was on, by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt. See, but we got now. There's two stages here. Come forth out of Egypt, right? First, you got to come out mentally, and then physically. So it starts while you're still in Egypt. So when you recognize, when you get the vision, that's what we're talking about. When you get the vision to leave, because right now you don't have the vision to leave. Pharaoh can tell you ain't going anywhere. And anybody with Farrakhan, they demons or outright fools. Because right there, he's calling God a liar. The Abrahamic covenant said, you will, right, here, sojourn, look up sojourn, means temporarily, and land not yours. Now they got all kinds of stupid fools that try to make this the promised land here. See? They can twist it, turn all they want to. The Abrahamic covenant is one of the clearest, it's the clearest verse in the Bible, the clearest. There's no, you don't have to use a computer, AI, anything. It's the clearest. It's clearest. Even to the fact they refer to as Abram. So why do they call him Abram? Anybody have to tell you that? Only place in the Bible to call A-Y. Was Abraham. What happens to Ham part? Well, who's Ham? That's supposed to be us. Remember, if you read the story, Ham settled in Africa, so Africa's our Ham. You see? So why do they leave the Ham part off? Because that's the part they'll be lost. And land not theirs. And they be calling them Ham. That's what they call us Ham. Be enslaved. Ham was supposed to be enslaved. We've been enslaved for 40 years. See? That's simple. Oh no. And so that's why they only call Abraham, because his seed would be separated from him. That's what he said. Be separated until the land not theirs. It's right there. It's just a simple little puzzle right there. Abram, and Ham. That's whole. But Ham is the seed of Abraham, ain't it? Ain't it see that word? And it's separated. And then later, in the covenant, he's referred back to Abraham. That means they come back together again. But during the vision, they were separated. Right there, look all the wisdom right there. That's why I tell you, you just can't say anything. Because then and no one noticed that before I told you. You never heard that anywhere. And then you look at it and say, well, that's right. That proves that we just see Abraham. The one the people that call him Ham. They come say, oh, well, those people call by my name and repent and seek I will heal that land. And then Pharaoh says us, well, we're not the ones called by God's name. False Israel is. Talking about them. We don't have a land. Where's our land at? We'll heal that land. We have to have a land to be healed. You see, that's right there. That shows that's bullshit he's talking. That's talking about them. They're the ones called by name. They're the ones that's filthy and sick and need to repent. Not us. We need to repent. All we got to do is decide when to go home. Accept the light. Accept the heritage. It's yours, a free gift, like it says in Revelations. It's all yours. You earned it already. You earned it. And you're not guilty of anything. Because you told Smith you did. Smith, the people said, make mission shed blood. That means you be doing stuff, you be obeying somebody who make mission shed blood. That means you be acting inordinate. other than yourself. Because if you submit to them, you do what they want you to do. And their whole nature is evil, wicked. So have you acting wicked and evil? So how are you going to tell you submit to that and then blame you for doing it? It says though your sins be black as coal, they be white as snow. I'm not paraphrasing, right? But that's what it says. You're not guilty of anything. If you understand, Israel says, bless those keep their God. You're not guilty of anything. It says, who is accusing us of being sinful? That's Farrakhan. The accuser of our people are cast down. So who's accused? I'm not accusing you. Elijah didn't accuse you. And that's Muhammad didn't accuse you. He said, you're righteous people. It's Farrakhan that's accusing you. You're sinful. You're wicked. The son of a devil. And those with him, if you want to argue with them, fine. They come and tell you, oh, his father's a devil, period. Just Google it. Oh, I ain't going to Google it. Well, then tell. That's your problem. See, he got him. So if he, hold on to him. Right? You choose him, fine. The robber of the nation, what does he produce? And for nothing. But he's rich. He's cursed, ain't he? And he don't have cancer. Cut it all insides out. When you call that a curse, what man would not call that a curse? You cut off from your heaven, cut from females the rest forever. You're not gonna get no transplant when you get home. We don't do that. So if you got eyes, come. You got ears, come. That's why I tell you that. Tell you ain't get no transplant. If your eyes come, we'll make you see. Your ears come, make you hear. You don't come and say, come here and we'll give you some ears. Come here, we ain't no transplant. That's the devil stuff. Right? So if you got what it takes, if you still got your manhood, then we'll get you hooked up with a sister. But you ain't got it. Ain't no transgender stuff going on over there. So you can forget that, you can step back here. So maybe that's what's going on with you and Father Flager. I see you kissing the guy's tongue over his mouth. So I mean, is that your boyfriend, Farrakhan? I think that's your boyfriend. In fact, I think you probably got a little orgy going over there. Him and the rest of them clowns, Ishmael and right. I think Father Flager, he's having fun, boy. He's the man. Right? He's the man. Right? And I know, let me leave y'all. Y'all got some heavy days coming, boy. And they're not very far away. I know you can't see them, right? But you'll see them when they get here. And then you have a whole different message then. Oh, boy, you have a whole message then. And we ain't talking about next year either. As soon as the war starts, do the countdown. Don't think that you're going to say, hey, man, I'll just get rid of myself. No, they said they would seek death and not be able to find it. We got news for you, buddy. Right? But anyway, see, it says, by Amalek here, it says they will attack you. So it says, therefore, right, it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from thy enemies. In other words, you got to be back home and everything. You ain't going to do it while you're here. I try to explain it to you. See, it said, do what it is done to you. But see, we have, it explains that, but I'm not going to go to that right now, brothers and sisters. It says, right, when you're home and everything, thou shalt blot out the remembrance of them, and thou shalt, it said, don't, in other words, do what them is done to you. Blot them out terrible, destroy them. Now, that's not false Israel, because they had no history of them ever being in Egypt. There's no history of it. And they said themselves, the scripture says clearly, all you have to do is follow what scripture says. We follow everything the scripture says. Show me a scripture that nullifies what I'm saying here. Show me a scripture that nullifies it. They told Jesus, we ain't never been in bondage to anybody. And Jesus told me, you ain't to see Abraham. But you don't, but Jesus lied too, right? I mean, that's from Muhammad's alive, God's alive, Jesus alive, everybody's alive according to you. Everybody's alive according to you. We ain't going nowhere, you're calling God a liar. That's Farrakhan. Well, you It says right there. That was a covenant that God made. But you see, that's where he twisted. He takes the first part where you afflict and everything, except that part. But then the part where you get the reward, that's what you see, because it's kind of hard for him to say it, because if you're so sinful and everything, why you get a reward for being sinful? Because he said, see, that's his take. We got in this condition because we're so sinful. That's what that Abraham covenant said. It said, just see. He didn't say he was going to judge us. He said he was going to judge us. He said he was going to judge the nation that did that to us. So when these devils running to, hey man, I ain't nothing to do with it. He said he's going to judge the nation. He said he's going to judge Jefferson and Washington and Frank and Hamilton and all them clowns. Benjamin. He said he's going to judge the nation that did this. They're all part of the nation. It's democracy, ain't it? So ain't everybody responsible for whatever country do? Yeah. I know someone asked, why is America the only country that's a corporation? That's powerful, if you understand that one. That means they're responsible for everything America does. And if America's a corporation, that means by their law, right, a corporation, right, it's like a being. So this corporation is guilty of slavery, genocide, death, theft, and there's no statute of limitations by their law. No statute of limitations means if they catch you 10,000, if they catch Hitler 10,000 years from now, they still got to get him because no statute of limitations. Every time if somebody clone him and bring him alive 10 million years from now, they catch him, he can still be prosecuted for what they claim he did. That's what no statute of limitations mean. It's all clear, brothers and sisters. So if you don't see, that's your problem. You the one go through this. You the one that didn't get on the ark, so you just man drowned. But you know, when the flood came, and everybody that, they were saying, I wish I had listened to Noah. They got it right then. But I was the last breath. You don't understand. We ain't here to coddle you. Give you information. Next time your reward, you don't want it. You want. It tells you. You want to sell your reward, like Esau does. Remember, Esau was the rightful heir, right? Rightful heir, right, to the kingdom, the rightful. He was the eldest. Jacob was his twin brother. But Esau didn't care much about that covenant of being the eldest, because that was a covenant. The eldest, right? If you was the eldest, that's what you got. But he didn't care much about it. He sold his out for a bowl of soup. And so then it ended up going to Jacob. Then Esau got mad. But it was too late. And God said, he said, well, you don't care nothing about them covenant. I don't care about you. That's what he told him. I love Jacob. I hate Esau. You don't give a damn about the covenant. That's a sign to you. Right? You want reparation in America? When you got a kingdom that's going to last forever, you got a covenant, you got a promised land that's perfect and pure. It tells you, when you return home, right, you return to houses you haven't built. That stuff they build on you right now is they building it for you. That's our land, Arabia. It tells you how stuff will already be built for you when you return. It's all beautiful, but it's up to you. I'm not going to sleep over it, but it says you don't forget it. See, now, the Amalek situation, understand it. They saying that, because remember, it's a revenge thing. Read it, it's revenge. So when did the Palestinians ever do that to the so-called Israelis? When did Palestinians do that to them? Because they claim that's what they exercised Amalek on them. Read this. Okay? Palestinians never did that to them. So that's not the revenge. Okay? And over here, right, when did we ever do that to these devils? Because Amalek has two sides to it. There and here. Happens. That's why I said what they see it happen over there, they know it's coming here. They're going to know us clearly. Because this gospel preaching all the world. That means all resistance is gone. He's broken the resistance. Resonance. Finally broke those walls down. Preaching all the world, because right now they're doing everything to suppress it. And so they're going to notice clearly, because this is clear stuff. You have to figure it out. What I'm saying, everything is totally clear. Right? So he says, their hearts fell for fear, those things come upon earth, right? Because they see it. Same thing happened before, this was going to happen here. Even worse. The people heart attacks and stuff. Because they don't understand it clearly, because this gospel is being preached all over the place. Clearly. They're going to see it clearly. But for them, it's going to be strokes, heart attacks. Right? Burns, third-degree burns and carrying on. Fire. Right? So, this is a revenge thing. But it's tell you what it says in chapter 13. Do unto them, no, chapter 18. Do unto them as they done to you. That's vengeance. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So, when he says mine, but then he tells you to do it, then you must be the Lord. Very clear stuff. Man, even move from side from that, it's showing you to take vengeance on them. That's what Amalek is all about. And that same thing happened over there. That's why I keep saying America and false Israel are writing their own obituary. Because what they're doing right now is especially with false Israel, what they're doing right now is they setting up this right here, the vengeance. Because what they're doing right now, it's only going to last a couple more days. That's what's going to happen to them. The worm's going to turn, like they say. Table's going to turn. And the place is going to be under siege. And politicians coming after them. There's going to be no food let in, no water set in. It's going to be told. And it says their sons beating their father, and the father beating their sons. And it says the whole world going to see it. Going to have those drones flying over with cameras. The whole world's going to see them eating each other in panic, fighting and killing each other. That's what they do, eating each other. They can't get out and do anything. Eating their babies and carrying on. No water coming in. Eating themselves, eating manure and drinking urine. That's what you're going to see over in a minute. And that's what people see. They'll see us coming here. It's on the way here. At the speed of light. So it's going to be, that's what's going to be here. It says over here, it's going to be like a woman. That's what a dating woman. You know, some of these devils, they so dainty, you know. Oh, man, they so like, you know, man, I mean, they can't put lipstick on. They got to have a maid and put they're so dainty, man. I can't, right? They say, if she's pregnant, she's going to deny her husband or children. In other words, she's going to hide the fact she's pregnant or that she's about to deliver from them. She's going to go to a secret place. That's what the scripture says. Secret place. And get that baby birth in silence. Now, I don't know. I'm not a female, so that must be hard because every time I seen her, I got several children. There was no silence. But she don't give it in silence. Birth that child in silence. Because she doesn't want to share that baby with her. Probably not children. They probably already gone by then. I know dogs are gone because they will be no dogs and cats here in a minute. They're going. With some people, some people eat probably their children, eat their own dog. That's how sick they are. Right? But she won't share it. And she's going to eat it. Eat that child. That's what's said in the scripture. Let me show you the verse. Then she do it secret. I mean, she ain't doing any cooking. Electricity stuff going to show up anyway. Eat it raw. That's how hungry she's going to be. Eat it raw. Alive. Now you tell me that's, whoa, you gotta be bad. Well, that's just the start of what's happening over here. It says all the 500 years of all the hell, they walk around like they're holy and pure and everything else, and they've been wrecking this place for 500 years, and they've been wrecking us, murdering us, raping us, beating us, torturing us, and they're sodomizing us and everything else for hundreds of years. And you maintain a system like that with terror. They're a terrorist nation. What I'm saying, tell me I'm lying. Tell me this doesn't make any sense. How do you maintain that condition that we was in without terror, 24/7? So who's a terrorist nation? They terrorize us. raped our women. Come out, Sally and Jefferson was lovers. She was a slave. Oh, she had a choice in the matter? Well, I think we should break up. Really? Is that the case? That's where it was. It's sick people. That's what happened. He was raping her. She was a slave with no love affair. What you gonna say? I don't feel good tonight. Can we do something tomorrow? Can we take a break? That's what you gonna say? Whip sitting around in the corner. It's sick people. Jefferson, Washington, rapists, pedophiles, terrorists. Now people was terrorized. Hundreds of years, then you got these fools walking around, fist bumping and talking to them and happy. They're going to pay a price for that. That's a sin right there. Because you're ignoring your own people and you're ignoring the promise. Because if you befriend them, you want to stay. Well, that's the Pharaoh kind of stuff anyway. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Terrorists. So now, for 500 years, what they think, just what they did to us for hundreds of years, that's going to come on them in 1 year. All of what they did to us, you can't imagine that. How can you put 40 years into 1 year? 40 years, you know, like I've been punching you every day for a year. Boom, punch you in the face. Boom. One punch a day. Bam, bam, bam. Then end of the year, on 4th of July, or Christmas or New Year, wherever you want, one day, that half a year later, right? I give you one punch that's equal to all the punches, 365. You wouldn't survive that. How can you imagine that? That'd be worse hit with a Mack truck going 1,000 miles an hour. You see what I'm saying? Because you dammed it up. I'm not going to retaliate. See? So every time you hit me with, say you hit me a 10-pound force. 10-pound force. Boom. 10-pound force for every day. Every day. So 365 days times that is 3,650 pounds now. That's how much you done build up. 3,650 pounds. So I hit you with a force in here with 3,000. What'd you think that'd be like? What'd you think that'd be like? It would be nothing left of you. Like you never existed. Hit you with that kind of force? 365, 3,650 pounds at one time. One punch. Bam. And that's what it's going to be like now. So if you say 400 years, and every day, how many days is that? So, okay, would you say they said it happened in one year, right? That means what we went through every year, more times 400, that's going to happen all of it in 1 year. 1 year. That's going to be a strange thing. How can you imagine that? That's their punishment. Because you can't escape consequence. So they had no fear of God. That's what it says right here, right? They feared not God. See? Consequence had, but it says they have the foot once you out it. Because they're gonna get the full consequence until you out of here. That's what it's telling you. After you out of here, then that's going, right? Because if you read the story about the goat, right, and the children of Israel, right, they depart at the same time the goats come in. When Moses got to the river, see, the Red Sea is the goat, and that Daniel. I'm not going into detail about that, right? But when they got to this, then Moses parted the waters. In other words, the goat, they opened up, let you through. And then that's the consequence came in, rolling in, after you left. See, all these things that fit together. And you left, then the consequence got rolling in. And that consequence, it says, Because what it said, look what it says, consequence. Famine, death, all that stuff. That's when you're doing them as it's done to you. That's when it happens. When you roll out, and who, you said, well, I thought you was going to do it. Well, you read going chapter 17, it tells you. They do it because you command them to do it. So they doing it. They like you said, a hitman out there. He doing. I thought you was gonna kill. I did. I sent hitman. That was the difference. He did it for me. So you add these stuff up together. Learn to add, subtract, brothers and sisters. They're our weapon of vengeance. And when they come in, that's when they're going to come and roll in. And for 1 year, they're going to wreak havoc on this place like you can't imagine. There you go. Okay. Here it is. Get back to her. Listen, as double what she did to her, and cup to her and as many glorify. Okay. See, this is all the things that's going to happen. Mourning, famine, or torment. And that's what happened when the goat, they're the ones going to, at our command, they're going to do it. Right? So get back to her double. Ooh. So in other words, not only are they going to get the 400 years in 1 year, but let's get double it. Ooh, with interest. Oh, interest. Why? Because our wrath is so great. Say, fuck with the wrong people. Right? Number one, but more than that, our women. And see, we love our women. We're just dumb right now. We're just dumb gorillas right now. But we love our women. Nobody loves original women like the original black man. We love our women right now. We're all messed up. But we love our women. And you know how you know? One way you know it is that I don't know one original black man that don't love his mom. I heard them talk about their dad, but they won't talk about their mom. They love their mom. And they love these. We should go out there with these devils, that's because they ain't original. They demons. And it's a psychological thing there too. Some brothers just feel bad because they feel they can't protect their women, and we're gonna work on all that. But once we get our mind back, you're gonna find out how much these original black men love these black women, because they're gonna tear this whole goddamn world apart. And you know what the cry gonna be? You shouldn't have fucked with our women. That's what the cry gonna be. That's the battle cry. Yeah, that word. That's the word they're gonna use. You shouldn't have fucked with our women. Love our women. I don't know if anybody love black women more, original black women more than me, but right? They might like me that much. I don't care. I love them. You know, if you love something, you don't care whether they love you or not. If you really love it, right? When I get them home, they have it. You know, I understand. And once they understand, once we got our mind back, everybody gonna look around and understand. And they're not going to be blaming each other. They're going to recognize what was done to us. And once that's removed, a exceedingly great army. What do you need an army for? Kick ass. It's the battle cry. Okay? The battle cry, for here, the devils, right? Or there's going to be a battle here. Not the battle of vengeance, because they're going to attack us. About defense. But the evil they done to us, we can possibly return it. Because our nature's so different. That's why we have to have, let me say this. I never said this before, but it's really hidden in the engine. It's really hidden. I talk about the Mongols and the creation of the devils. Now you understand that. These are called what they use, special ed people, whatever, these call them Mongoloids. Right? They don't call them that. They say mentally challenged or whatever. Then they call them retarded, whatever. These call them Mongoloids. Now, if you understand the whole conversation, right, then you know who they are. Okay? But in the angel, they seem to have it backwards. Because they should be on the bottom. See? But they call death. There's a reason for that. So I'm just going to little hint on that, right? See? Because if the devils are wicked, they're more wicked than the devils are. They can be more evil than the devils are. If you understand their creation. You see? So what's restraining them? Restrain them. The reason why they restrain, because they have less discipline than the devils do. I shouldn't get into this. I shouldn't do this. I want to keep this short. Discipline times energy equals power, right? They're less disciplined. But devils are more disciplined. That means devils can control them, have more power than them. Do they have more energy than the devils? See all the energy they got putting over there? And they're copycats. They don't have any ingenuity. Innovation, rather. Ingenuity. But the reason the devils have, because they have more discipline, their power keeps them back, hold them back. See? But when, and if you should understand the angel key, right? If you understand how the flood came, right? There was a barrier that was holding it back, the flood back. The barrier is a shear. And then once they move, there's nothing to restrain them anymore. And at that time, right? Remember the devils at that point, they lost their discipline. They don't have the power to hold them back anymore. So they could do more evil than the devils can do. You get it now? Double. That little secret how you kept myself. I believe real it now. Think about it. I say these things, they're more wicked. But the point is, because they have less discipline than the devils, they have less power, even though they have more energy. So the devils ain't been holding back. You see? But devils' discipline is falling fast. Right? And then what happens? They get in war with each other, and the Shia, they move out the way. The barriers holding them back. They're not holding them back anymore. And they have no defense to defend themselves because they fight with each other. So they lost their discipline. And these people are worse. That means they can be worse. They can do more evil than the devils do. They can be more evil than the devils themselves, if that's possible. You see what I'm saying? They totally undisciplined. That means they totally wreck havoc. See? The flood. So they can do more evil than even the devils can. That's how it's done. Let them loose on them. That's what I call death. That's what, so I guess I dropped it now. Dropped it on you now. I've been holding that back 30 years. I never. God said people say, well, I don't know if anybody paid attention. If you understand the Mongolian story, you say, well, why are they there? They should be under the devils. Okay, hold on. Oh boy, let me move on, brothers and sisters. So much. But see, this Amalek thing, like I said, was talking about his event. So that's what they're doing right now is about to happen now. They set the stage for it. They told my Amalek no, right? They creating that situation. They fueling it. Because what they doing, remember, vengeance, a consequence. So there's a consequence of what they're doing. See, they don't believe in consequence because they're stupid. They don't believe in consequence. And we didn't really push consequence on them because then they wouldn't do what they did, and we wanted them to do what they did for certain reasons. That's another story altogether. We'll advance. But the point is that if you understand the consequence, that means there's a consequence of what they're doing over there. There'd be a consequence of what they're doing. If they believe in consequence, they wouldn't be doing that. Because they know we're going to backfire on them. In America, there'll be a consequence of all of a sudden, all that they done, all of a sudden roll back on them. They don't see that coming. That's when hearts be failing and everything else. Just anticipation. Just anticipation. If your heart failing in anticipation, what's going to happen what your heart going to do when it actually happens? Hope you understand that, bro. Let's move on. So, and then on this case right here, right? They're talking about the fake vision. Now Elijah came and gave you this vision. Because you didn't have no vision. When Master Prophet came in, you had no vision. And people without vision was perishing. We was perishing. We had no vision. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know what to do. Right? We just doing whatever the Master had us do. We had when Zook suits and running around doing all kind of stupid stuff. We had no vision. We was walking around in circles. We had no vision. It tells you we was perishing. The people have without vision we was perishing. And Master Muhammad came and found us in that condition. And so he gave Elijah Muhammad the vision to give us. And that's the vision. That's the Abrahamic covenant. A vision. NOI. That was a beacon. NOI was a beacon. A vision to look up to. That's what it was. Elijah came and gave it a beacon. Mm-hmm. Farrakhan's his job is to get rid of that beacon. We ain't going nowhere. He's trying to steal your vision. Because if you ain't going nowhere, where's your vision? And plus, why? Okay, if you so wicked, then why? He said, if you don't repent for what? His so-called man march. That was a lie in itself. Because it was these Negro preachers that set that up, and he claimed he got it from God. That's why the second was a failure, flop, because they didn't support him on that one. Because 99% of people there was Christian black folks. But he took credit for it, like he's a goddamn liar, thief. That's why the second was a total flop. That's what I'll talk about the second one. If you hit a song out there, everybody's rocking to that song, right? Wow, man, ooh, you rocking, man. And then the guy said, hey, man, Diddy, Mr. Diddy, right? He got another tune out. Oh, you do? And you remember that first one? Man, you would start buying that second one just like that. Bam, because that first was jamming, right? See? So if that first was so great, like Farrakhan saying, how come nobody show up on the second one? I ain't buying that. You love that first one. I ain't buying that second one. You ain't heard it yet, but I ain't buying it. Why? No, that don't make no sense. Man, that first was jamming. I'm going to get that second one. Like when Michael, every time he released something, they couldn't wait to get the next one. So Prince couldn't wait because that was jamming. This one got to be a monster. The second one, can't nobody show it up because there was a lot to begin with. Man March. And then when you got there, he did blame you. Well, you got a tone. Tone for what? A tone for what? It's our fault, all this here. Because he's a devil. His father's a devil. He's speaking what the devil's telling him to speak. They own him. His father's the devil. People don't even want to admit that. He says it. He says it himself. We got him saying it. He says his father's parents were white, Caucasian, Portuguese, Jews. This is on his own mouth. So be like, well, man, his father's a light-skinned Jamaican. And then all you got to do is Google it, show a picture of his father. Ain't nothing light-skinned about that man. He's white. There's no one, so that's fine. Except hold on to that. Hold on real tight. Don't let go. See? So when it burns your ass, I want you to keep holding on. Because we're not going to rescue. We're not going to pour any water on your ass. Right? You're that damn stupid. There'll be no stupid people in the hereafter. No stupid people. Not in the kingdom. They'll be outside. The dogs, like you said, dogs are fools and everything else. And out of darkness. But it won't be in the kingdom. So Elijah Muhammad said that. Right? And they said, oh, people start getting the vision. They didn't want that spread. They didn't want it spread around black folks. So he said, the vision, Abrahamic covenant. And then they had this movement with Martin Luther King, and he told them about it. And they said, and Martin Luther King went and said, hey, man, we got a vision, man. Right there, look at there. Look, see, look. Right? There's a beacon out there. The Abrahamic covenant. What was the speech? The promised land. He said, I don't know if I get there with you, but he said, I know I'm going to get there. He was talking about the promised land. We got the picture of him with Elijah. And what happened to him? He was dead the next day. They didn't want you to see that beacon. They want you to have a vision. Because they said, if Martin Luther King see that, he could all people see it. That was millions. They didn't want you to see that vision. See? Master Muhammad set that beacon up and told Elijah to fuel it with his blood, his life, his works. Fuel it, keep that light on. Light needs electricity, right? He had to provide the energy. Energy do it. His own, as he gave his life for it. He put his life. I keep telling you, that stuff don't happen order. That was his life that fueled that. He made him the fuel for that light. And Elijah Muhammad kept fueling that light with his own energy. And he kept that light on. And then, oh man, we can't shut that light down. So in 1948, that's what he did. See? Shut that thing down. See? So that's what he did. Boom. They shut down. Set false news up there. You know, took the beacon out, put another light in there. So look up there, oh, that's false Israel. Well, now beacon. Okay? And then followed up by getting Elijah Muhammad out of the picture so he couldn't, right? And put Farrakhan in there. He supported that same thing. We ain't going nowhere. That beacon ain't for us. You're sinful, you're wicked. Because he wanted out. Son of perdition said, after working with Satan, said Satan would cast out Satan. Ain't that what he's saying, cast out Satan? He supported that vision. Because if you ain't going nowhere, you can't be seed Abraham, can you? He said, we're seed Abraham, but you ain't going nowhere. I mean, that's a contradiction, ain't it? The whole point of being a seed Abraham is that you're going to inherit the promised land. But he said, we ain't going nowhere. That's what he had to do. Destroy that, right? But he said, right? The beacon will be gone, right? But you don't see the beacon. You seen it. So you're looking for it. You're still looking for that beacon. That's how you're seeking somebody to turn that beacon back on again. See, they've been seeking the message of the covenant. Right? The original one. They want to see it. They're seeking it. Because they know it's a false, something. They remember the vision. See, there was really Elijah, they remembered the vision, but the vision is gone. They're seeking that vision. They love that vision. They want it. But the vision been taken away. The light's been out. They don't somebody reignite that vision. Not only reignite it, right? But take and accomplish it. Right? Fulfill that vision. Right? That's what it says, seek the message of covenant. You put these things together, it makes sense. Right? And, hold on, I missed something here, bro. Just hold on for a second. That wasn't supposed to be like that. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Wow. Yeah, kind of just, how did I do that? Okay, I'm gonna make a, oops, yeah. I'll make a slight change here, brothers and sisters, but I think I deleted that. Let me do it this way. Okay. And okay. to make sure, brothers and sisters, you get the message. Okay, put it that way. Okay. Not be smooth as I made a mistake, so. But you get the message. So this would, right? And then they be seeking it, and that's what happened. So it's not gonna be smooth, but the message of the covenant will come. Turn that beacon back on and take you home. As we seek the message of the covenant. Remember, they said message of the covenant. They're fulfillment of the covenant. It tells you right there in Malachi. That's what's going to take you home. Purify you, get you home. Okay? Get rid of false Israel. The true beacon. Okay? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. Let's talk about paradise and energy management. I'm going to close out. Okay. Let me see where we're at here. Okay, hold on for a minute, brothers and sisters. Hold on for a second, let me. Let's have a trouble here, hold on. Okay, brothers and sisters, let me check something else here right quick. I just want to explain a couple of things, brothers and sisters. See, we got to be real. Okay. Now, paradise and energy management. Let's look into this. You see here? This represents the reality we are. That's the capital, this reality. Right? This reality is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Right? Force is energy. Everything is energy. And so when you see a reality, it comes out of the minds. I mean, that capital didn't go out the ground. It came out of somebody's mind. This government came out of somebody's mind. This economic system came out of somebody's mind. Right? And they gave form. Everything is energy. They gave form. This is the form they gave to the energy. This is the form they gave to it. But you got to understand, everybody gets energies all over the place. You're energy. Everything is energy. But everybody, if you understand how precious, we are precious, everybody gets the same amount of energy. So say, for instance, everybody gets, if we put it in terms of dollars, everybody gets $1,000 a day. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. It's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. Child is born, it gets $1,000 too. Every living being of us gets the same amount of energy. So you say $1,000 a day, okay, everybody gets $1,000 a day for a child. So if you're a parent, you got 5 children, right? Then you control $5,000 a day worth of energy. You control it. It's theirs, but you control it. So when they tell you shouldn't have children, right? And the more children you have, the more money you control. Because like I said, when I had a whole bunch of children when I had that mini mansion and everything else, I mean, I was rolling in dough because I had plenty of money because I was control. But I used that money for their benefit. See, you get somebody, now they control that much money, they use it for themselves instead of doing it for their family. That's another story. But understand that concept. Whether you understand it or not, that's the way it works. Right? So devils can save my energy too. But it gets down to how much you need, how much you actually need, and then what they call disposable income, right? So in other words, you make so much money, and disposable income is how much money that you have beyond paying your bills. So you need so much energy to take care of yourself, and then what's left, you can do other things with it, right? So we had energy deprivation, all we had enough energy to maintain ourselves, so we could maintain a civilization, a relationship, anything. We had enough energy to maintain ourselves, and very little even that. So we've lost control of ourselves, right? Because we require a lot of energy, because we're the highest form of genetics in the universe, and it requires a lot of energy to maintain that level of structure. But the devils, they low level, so they need that much. We like a Lamborghini, they like a Volkswagen Beetle. So they had enough energy. That's why Adam was given rule, because he had more. He had disposable income. We didn't. Right? So that energy, you take an energy, and it depends on the level of your structure. So your reality cannot be greater than the structure. So if you got a low structure a brain, your mind cannot be greater than your brain. Right? So if you got a low structured brain, that means what comes out of your mind will be a low structure. And so when you saw Europeans back in the Dark Ages, low structure. Other nations were more civilized than them. Low structure, because they're the lowest. Well, I talk about the Orientals, but forget about that. But they're low structure. Low structure. So they build a reality that's low structure. It's going to reflect, just like a dog. How they build? They build a reality based on the level they understand, like birds and everything else, right? You're gonna build reality based on the structure of your brain. That's you understand what I'm saying? So they build this reality. So I'm gonna go into this. That's how kind of difficult to understand this structure, brothers and sisters. I'm kind of jump. Well, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it in a minute. Let me just do the basic here. So this is the structure. When you look at this America right here, there's a structure that came from them. Now, when you build, remember everything's energy. So you take and build something, but you got to maintain it. So otherwise, it just disappears. Remember, you built this structure, but you got to fuel it. So you keep so you keep getting energy. In other words, you get 1,000 units a day, and so you build your reality, right? And if your reality is like $600, took $600 a day for energy, you got to keep putting $600 in it to keep it going. You got to fuel it. You got to keep. You understand? Otherwise, it dries up, dies. You got to fuel it. You got everything's energy. To keep it this form, you have to keep on giving it energy to maintain the form. So it takes America, they have to keep on the energy they have to keep the form they have right here. But see, one of the problems is that's why they fear us so much, because we're doing the same thing too. But they lose control over us. So that means we're going to cover a different reality than they have. Then you got a conflict between the realities. And when you got a conflict between the realities, what happens? They have to use more and more energy to maintain their reality. So it gets harder and harder to do it. See, so in other words, they got $1,000 a day, for instance, and you $600 made just to maintain that, right? Okay, fine. There's another reality company. Okay, now, Oh, now you got to resist. So now you got to pay $300 or $200 to maintain the, right? Suppress that. So now you only got $300. Say you had $600, right? Or say seven. So, and you get $700 a day, right? But it takes $300 a day to suppress the other one. So only got four. So now this starts crumbling, right? Because it takes 700 to maintain it. So you only have 400, so it starts diminishing. Hope you understand that concept, right? So I'm gonna get more into it in a minute. So here it is. This is the reality that the Europeans over here, right? They got to fuel it. See, but it's hard and hard and hard. That's why they're in debt and everything else. Because they use no, because they got other realities that's a challenge to this, challenging it. So they have to suppress those because if those came in, that's gonna kill this. Earth is not so big. So it'd be one dominant reality, and the strongest reality is the most dominant one. So if other realities start growing, then it's going to be a challenge to this one. So then these guys start directing some of this energy to suppress them, which means have less for this, so this start crumbling. Hope you understand the concept, brothers and sisters. Anyway. So then a challenge comes. In 1990, a new reality comes. That's the angel. Make all things new. Revelation, the great light. He shows up in 1990. That's the beginning of a new reality. That's challenging this reality with the people that they have under control here. So it happens. So now, right, he's starting to build that, fueling that reality, energy. With his own energy coming, using that energy to fuel that. He has to fuel it. So if he gets $1,000 a day, he put $1,000 a day into this reality, new reality. He's fueling. If he only put 200, then 100, then don't that much. But if he put it all in, then you see, start it's like you got a water, a lake, and it's solid, it's smooth, solid, right? It's not moving, motionless. Then you throw a rock in it. Once it got waves, you change the reality of that lake. You understand? But if you want to keep that reality going, you got to keep throwing a rock in there. Because if you don't, you stop. It settles back down again. Right? So if you want to keep the new reality come in, right? Got a lake that's waves all the time. That's new reality. You got to keep on throwing a rock in there. Got to keep fueling it. Otherwise, you stop. The lake goes back to where it was before. That's a simple analogy, but that's pretty much the way it works. And boom, it blows away that reality. Because high pressure overcomes low pressure. So if he comes to a new reality that's higher pressure than the old one, he blows away that reality. That's happening right now. Right? And then what? Then his reality comes in. Higher pressure reality overcomes lower pressure reality. Other pressure realities go on, the new reality. Right? What happened here? Okay. Covers the whole planet. It's new reality. Got rid of old reality. Okay? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand that concept. That's what's happening right now. That's the way it always happens. They send one prophet in with a higher reality mind, a higher pressure mind. That's what scriptures are. Scriptures are minds. Like if you got a version 2001 Windows, and they come out 2010, they don't support 2001 anymore. 2010 blows away 2001. And while it won't work, you don't support, you gotta get rid of it. Because now you got a new version. Same thing. Scriptures are minds. That's why they give you scriptures revealed, and that's high. And they send one person. They don't need to send one person, because the mathematics says high pressure overcomes low pressure, no matter how small low high pressure is. High pressure could be just big as a small balloon. But if you put it right, if you put it in water, it's going to move the water out the way because it's higher pressure. If it's high pressure, it's going to move. I don't care if it's a ocean or whatever. If it's high pressure, it's going to move There's no exception. High pressure overcomes low pressure. And scriptures are minds and that pressure, that energy, that force. And so they come in with it, and that's why, right, when Moses came in, he was able to remove the empire that existed before that. Jesus came in, right? The Roman Empire, he defeated that. You see the remnants of it in the Catholic religion, but he defeated the Roman Empire. Right? You see? And then Prophet Muhammad came in, right? And he defeated the Catholic Empire. Put it down for 1,000 years. And then Adam came along because in his deprivation, right? The new world on earth, he put down all of them. He put down, it was called some Jews that was called themselves following Moses. People say they were following Jesus, and people that follow Muhammad. He put them all down. Adam put them all down. His presence was higher than theirs. The scripture he had was higher, and he put them all down. That's right. I put ruling. They rule. Who been ruling the earth? Who been ruling the earth for 400 years? Ain't been the whole world. They try to say, Sunni said the whole world. No. Only 2 empires been ruling the world for the last 5 years. That's America and Britain, Gog and Magog. Our chapter 20. That's they would see the whole world, and that's one of the major exceptions right there. The chapter 20 is in the future. No, that's European history. And they came out and they see the whole world. 2 empires. Only 2 world empires you know of in all history. The Mongolians or Genghis Khan wasn't a world empire. Caesar wasn't a world empire. Napoleon wasn't a world empire. Alexander, the so-called Great, was not a world empire. None of people was world empires. Only world empire was first was Britain, like it says the Ram and Daniel, and then the one that comes last was the greater American empire. 2 world empires, as Gog and Magog. Period. See, this stuff is very simple, but it said they perishing because they refuse to accept the truth. Well, probably because they got low brain. The demons, they can't accept it, and if they did accept it, it would be against them. The others, low brain structure. We don't care, because it says, many will be called and few be chosen. So you get the light, but we choose you. You don't choose us, and we choose you based on your response to the light. Your response, that's how we choose you. That's your response to the light. Okay? If you walk around the light and you walk around a circle, you're blind. We don't want you. Understand that. So let's look at this. I'm missing something here, bro. Hold on a second. One second. I think I missed something here. One second here. Just give me a second. Where did I put that at? Yeah, I did miss something. Where is it at? Oh, that's why. It was in the right place. Okay. Let's see what happened. Okay, I'm going to just move it around. Over here. I'll go into that. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what's happening with it. Okay. Okay. Okay, fueling your paradise. But first, before I do that, let me show you this. You see this right here? This is how we talked about it initially. And when I said you got to fuel, right? Okay. Now I show you with your mind, your reality is based on the mind you have. So if you got a weak mind, you have a weak reality. If you got if you got a real low class mind, you're going to be. Maybe I should say this. I don't know. I guess I'm getting off track here. if I go out with a long explanation, the point is that if you got a low grade mind, right? Say real low grade mind, then your reality is going to be so maybe 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 living down the street someplace. Well, that's not a good analogy. Living out in the woods or something, right? Or like you know, like in Europe, the architecture was really bad. Everything. I mean, they didn't have anything. They had to go out and they went around all the world trying to learn how to do this, learn to do that, because the mind level was low. You know, architecture and all that stuff. They got them every place else. Remember Marco Polo and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to make a better analogy. If I got good at analogy, but it's going to take me an hour to explain it. So in other words, say you got a very simple mind, right? So for you, right, 5 plus 2 is 7, right? The more complicated mind might say, well, 2 plus 2 plus 2 and 1. I mean, a little complicated, right? Or maybe 21 divided by 3 is 7. I mean, it's more complicated. It'd be more complicated. It can still come up to 7, but it's more complicated, right? So therefore, their structure, their technology, everything was on a very low level in Europe, very low level. They didn't take baths, right? There's Z's. I don't know about awnings, what awnings came from and stuff like that. It was very low, right? The way it was living, it was very filthy, right? Because in mind, right, everybody else was doing better. So they try to make the Dark Ages was the whole planet. No, it was just Europe. Okay. Because remember, they're on the lower level. You got the nations, and they got the simplest mind of all. So therefore, it came out with a simple. Their civilization is very simple. Just like even the Roman legions. I mean, remember, they had energy and power, but they was very simple. I mean, the way the army set, the squares, the rectangle, you know, and that's why Hannibal was able to defeat him, because he had a more complex mind, and he had a small army, but he was able to. They couldn't beat him. People don't understand. Hannibal was an original man out of what's the name of Carthage, and Carthage was in Africa. So they don't tell you that part. And he was beating them and beating them and beating them with a smaller army, and he used mathematics, geometry to do it. If you understand, they still study him at West Point now. See, because they had a very simple way of thinking, but they had power. So if you got power, even you know, I mean, if you got power, right? If somebody don't have power, they could be wiser than you, but if they don't have power, then you, right? It's like if you're out there and you smart, everything else, right? A lion don't as smart as you, but he could tear your behind apart if he can get a hold of you. If he has more power than you have. Anyway, I don't want to get too complicated. So what I'm saying is, I don't know, I should go back to that, because this is just out of place here. What I'm saying is that, say for instance, you know, okay, if you got a simple mind, and all you know how to do is build shacks, but you have money, so you hire somebody that knows how to build buildings, and say, okay, I give you money, they'll build the buildings for you. You don't know how to build it, they'll build it for you, because you got the money to do it. So you say, you build it for you. So they come out of your mind, come out of theirs, but you had the money to get them to do it. As long as you got the money to do it, they build a reality that's greater in your mind. Didn't come out of your mind, it came out of theirs, but actually it did come out of your mind in a way, because you're the one that hired them to do it. So that's part of your, right? It's still your reality, because it flew with your money. Okay? But the quality of it is greater than your ability, because you have someone else with a greater quality mind to produce a greater quality of reality. You understand that concept? Your reality becomes higher quality than you would have done because you found someone that had a higher quality mind and you had enough money to pay them. Remember, you still fueling it to build a higher quality reality than you would have been able to do. So when you see here, you look at America. America's been able to build a high quality reality than all other Europeans. Now America, you the innovation say, well, Americans are so smart, right? Europeans so smart. White folks so smart, and everybody else, right? So say. But if that's the case, how come Germany's almost all white? How come they don't have an innovation? All of Europeans just copy what they get from here. How come everybody's getting copy what they get from here? So there's something strange about these white people here. They're wise than all the white people in the world. You know, most of the Europeans that's here, Google it. I was surprised to find out myself years ago. Most are from Germany, not from England. That throws you, but that's the fact. So, coming over here made them extra wise or something? They got this innovation? Because Germany just copied what they got from here. England just copied what they got from here. All these other countries just copied this innovation that comes out of here. So why is that? Everybody's copying what comes out of here. So what's the difference between them and here? Us. We got the high quality mind. See? And they pay us. Oop, did I say that? They pay us. Right? I mean, one of the secret, Washington D.C. was supposed to have been designed by a black person. That's what they say. You Google, that's what they say. A black architect. But see, they have control of our energy. So it's like they paying us, they got control of our, remember they got control of our energy. Because we don't have control of it. So therefore, we work for them. Because actually, when you was in the slaves, you was an employee. You've been an employee the whole time you're over here. They just changed the name now to employee. But when you was a slave, it's the same. You was an employee, you was working for them. They changed the name to make you think you feel better. You're still a slave. But we had a high quality, but they had control of us. So they was able to build all this innovation, everything that came from our minds. But they control us, so they control our minds, right? They gave us their minds, but it came from our brains. Our innovation came from our brains. That's why they don't want us to leave here. That's why Pharaoh says, hey, don't let them leave. See? The whole thing's about creativity, if you understand it. That's what's going on here. As long as they control us, that's why they have an innovation, because it's coming from us. But they control us. And they lose control of us, then we're going, and all of a sudden they go back to the simple mind stuff. They can't, no more innovation. And now we over there doing all this great innovation. How do you think we think going to happen? How's going to work? See, one of the little hints there, they told us that we could no longer make bricks out of straw. You could still have to make it, but you couldn't make it out of straw. That's the scripture telling you had to be creative, that you're the creative force here. Who is the creative force to help them survive? Joseph. Joseph was us. Remember they enslaved his people. After Joseph showed them what to do, because they didn't know. They was about to starve to death. And then that's us, Joseph us. We were still in slavery, and then they enslaved his children, his people. We the ones caught. So that's what's happening here. Okay? Because we're taking the energy. Remember, they got to give us energy. They control our energy. They mean control energy. In other words, they could always. You get $1,000 a day, but you're under my control, so I give you $1,000 a day. But I don't give you $1,000. I give you $1,000 worth of beans, or still $1,000. I control the quality of that $1,000 I give you. Right? And $1,000 shit farm is equal to $1,000 gold mine. It's still worth $1,000. But I say you can only buy a shit farm. See, so I'm controlling. You still get $1,000 as far as consequence. You get $1,000, but it's shit. $1,000 worth of shit. See? So since they control us, they control the nature of the energy that we get. So they give us $1,000 shit farm every day, $1,000 pile of shit worth $1,000. I mean, shit is worth something. What do you think the fertilizer is? So you get $1,000 worth of fertilizer, $30 worth of shit every day. Okay? And what you do with fertilizer? You plant and you produce vegetables and stuff with it. You may not understand, you might like it, but that's where it happens. We think that stuff comes from. They put fertilizer, now they use chemicals and stuff, but that's where before all that, that's where you used put animal dung and everything else in the ground. All your manure put in the ground. That would fertilize the ground, and the seeds that's what seeds grew off, used to grow, and then grow your food that you can eat against recycling. You shit in the ground, the seeds turn that shit back into food. You shit again, going around. That's it. That's just the way it is. Right? And so it's a symbiotic relationship, and that's what's going on here. See? Because we creative, we turn shit into gold. Just like, right? The seed turns shit into cabbage, pickles, and cabbage or cucumbers or whatever, right? The seed turns it into that, right? And you eat that stuff and you turn it back into shit. Shit goes in the ground, seed turn it back, What's happening here? That's what he's doing with us. We're the creative force. We want all this innovation. Okay? So we turn it into gold for them, and they turn the gold back into shit, and that's what they feed us. So we live in the ghettos and everything else. Because we line in the control. That's why we got to get the hell out of here. Listen to goddamn Farrakhan, because that's the relationship here. They control our energy. So we keep getting $1,000 worth of shit. We could be getting $1,000 worth of gold. But we get $1,000 worth of shit, that's what they give us. They shit it out, and we give them the gold, they turn it into shit. When we was in the field, right? We go out there and work our ass off and produce food and all that nice stuff for them, right? And so they sitting back eating caviar and steaks and ham, whatever else they're eating, right? And what they gave you? Shipments. With this shit from pigs, stuff they used to throw away. They gave you garbage. They gave cow chips. That's where this thing comes from. Potato chip, all that stuff from. You don't even know it. Just like you call it chillers now, and Walmart sells it because people still buying it. That's what they called it back there when you was in the fields, shillers, because that's what it is. But then when you got out, they say, hey, these niggas, they might pick up on that. So let's change the S and put a C there. Still the same damn that, just because they changed the letter, it's still shillings. Yes, they did. They give you shit. So you was out there working your ass, and they fed you. You didn't handle this shit. They showed Django. You sitting back in a home. You had a fireplace. That didn't happen that way. I guarantee it didn't happen that way. Even Oprah tell you that to Oprah letters. It didn't happen that way. They lock your ass up in a little closet like room outside where it was cold and everything else. Whole family in there. If you had to go to the bathroom, you did it on each other. So you wouldn't run away at night. You had no fireplace. You had no home. You had none of that. Barely had any clothes. Clothes you had was rags and everything else. They gave you shit, but you was putting caviar and steaks and wine and everything on their plate. And you was getting pissed and shit and everything else on yours. That's relationship. And you're still doing it right now. Because you're still an employee and you're still a slave right now. You go out there, you work at Popeyes, brushing your ass all day long. They sit back on the ocean, on their yacht and everything else, partying, watching video, whatever. And you could barely make enough. Because that's what capitalism, maximum profit, minimum overhead. That means the less they got to pay you, the more profit they make. That's what capitalism is. It's capitalism slavery by definition. So they get you to work, and unless they pay you, and isn't that slavery? Don't pay anything. Just give you enough to keep you alive. In fact, initially, they wouldn't even give you enough to keep you alive. Because if you read the story, they said that the average life expectancy for a black male was like 3 to 4 years. They work so hard. When you saw those pictures of old people, that was 30-year-old man. Looked like 90 years old. They work you to death in 3 or 4 years. Then they had to bring you somebody to replace you. They'd even. That's how they did it. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. And then you fist bump. They did that to our relatives, our ancestors. You don't give a damn about it. You fist bump. Hey, bro. And calling them bro. God damn. You must be a goddamn demon. You must be one of them. How in the hell are you going to take. They rape your mom and you're going to be friends with them? Oh, that was my grandma. Oh, sir, they was already ready to rape your grandma. Well, what was my great-grandma? Oh, it was all right to rape your great-grandma. Oh, it was great-great-grandma. It's all right to do that, right? And all the stuff they was doing to them. And if you was back there and they was raping your sister, your mama, and raping you, and beating you, working you 24/7, terrorizing you, you never got no sleep, right? Terrifying you 24/7. They fed you shillings, and not in the plate, in a trial, just like a pig. Even ask Oprah, she got her papers, they tell you the same thing they got from the slaves before they died, they did interviews with them. And you looked ahead, and saw, oh, that's Jimmy Jackson. And Jimmy Jackson, that's your future relative, right? I love these. Hey, bro, hi, bro. Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, bro, what's got the man? Let's hang out, man. Let's go watch the game together. And you get hold of your hands on that nigga? When you crush us to pieces, you look ahead, you doing this and that. You look ahead and see that's how he carried stuff after what you going through? If you was back there, is that what your reaction? Oh, one day they're going to get along. One day them and Master going to be buddies. He going to marry one of Master's girls, children, daughters. That's how your reaction be? Because if that's your reaction be, you're going to get a chance to feel it. See? Y'all don't know about the tyrant. I told you, Elijah Muhammad told me about that, but I ain't a message back, man. This situation right here, brother and sister, and you laying back, man, just satisfied with the shit and producing them gold. Satisfied with getting shit, and you producing gold for him. He turned the gold into shit. That's what you getting. Shit life. Do what they tell you to do. They're laws. Cats make laws for cats. If you're a dog, you in cat land, you're gonna be in trouble. You're a criminal because you act like dogs. The law is made to act like. If you don't act like cats, you're in trouble with the law. You're gonna be oppressed there because you ain't gonna be happy. Because if you try to act like a dog, hey, what you woofing for, man? We got a law against woofing. We got a law against wagging your tail. See, because cats don't do that kind of stuff. So the laws they make is for them. And if you try to act like yourself, you're going to be in trouble here. You're a criminal. That's why you're scared of them. That's why you keep their name. Here it is, they gave you a name. They took your name away from you, beat it out of you. And now you're supposed to be free. And you was a slave to Jimmy Jackson. So they was calling you Michael Jackson, Jimmy Jackson, Jonah Jackson. Means that you was owned by Master Jackson. So now you own them, but you still walk around with that damn name? It's like a woman should get divorced from someone. I mean, I divorced from Mr. Johnson. What's your name? My name is Mary Johnson. Well, I thought you divorced from him. Why you still carry his name? Did you divorce him? Why you still carry his name? No, because you're still a goddamn slave. You're still scared of master. That's why you walking them names. Unless you're a demon, then that is your name. That situation, boss, that's where we are right now. That's going to break. Now, those who want to keep eating shit, they're going to stay and keep eating shit. The rest of us getting out here. And we're going to keep the goal that we're making. And get them the shit. Because they wouldn't have this if it wasn't for us. That's what's going to keep us here. That's why all the innovations coming out of here. Another sign of this AI, right? All this AI age come in. Now, they knew you're best qualified. One of the reasons why I know you're best qualified because I'm going to give you a short version of this here. They got a thing called SIC codes, standard industrial codes. Every time a new innovation comes, a new a new what I want to use well, new I'm gonna try. What's what I want to use here? A new industry. New industry comes in, right? Like industrial revolution, right? Okay, it had machines they didn't have before. So the industry come in with computers. So the government takes and goes do a demographics to find out what people, like would be women or children, whatever, who'd be best qualified for the industry, so they can start teaching them, so they can be ready for the industry to come in and work on it. But surprise, 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 and this is a fact because I went through the program. They found that black folks was best qualified to do computers. And they connect with music. Now you might think music is nothing, but you know something? It takes a lot of creativity to come to this music. They come with Beethoven and sing and Beethoven and what was his name? I forget, right? Santana or whatever, right? This music, the world of rock rock music, it takes a lot of creativity to come to that music. Look at that music. Somebody that comes so smooth and beautiful, but that's music is mathematics. And so, the black folk music is ruling the planet. And the same mathematics that take the pure music is the same kind of mathematics that takes the right computer code. You didn't know that. I said that was my business for years. I had my own business writing computer code. Didn't have a degree or nothing, and I was killing them. I was the best at what I was doing. Because I'd go to places and say, man, damn, you got a good record here, but you don't have no degree. I said, what do you want? I said, you want somebody with a piece of paper, you want somebody to know how to do it. And that was case closed. And they was always calling me to fix systems that they had white boys build, and then after they left, the damn thing didn't work. So I always had to come and fix it, because I don't know. And one of the big tells is that that's a new industry. It's a powerful, one of the most powerful industries there in the world, right? Right in the world right now, right? So how come they got to bring Indians over to do it? Because they didn't want you to do it. Reagan shut that program down. Called us to the program. I went to the program and started teaching black folks programming. Urban League was the one that sponsored it. IBM was the one that provided technical stuff, right, and the teachers, right? And they had a contract with the surrounding government, surrounding manufacturers, that the top 10% of that class, they would hire them. That was the deal. I came out first in my class, I went through a program. They actually paid you while you was going. You went for 3 months. And Reagan said, man, we can't have them doing that, because then we lose control of them. All of a sudden they be running everything, because that's a powerful industry. Called standard industrial codes, look it up. If you work any place, you have one, you just don't know it. If you do a tax, ask your tax guy, he probably know you what yours is. Standard is SIC codes, SIC. So I'm not making this up, I went through it. And Reagan shut that down and started bringing Indians over here. Because they couldn't do it. How come they couldn't do it? How come they can't get their own people to do it? They've been around homeless and walking and doing menial jobs and everything else. Why they gotta bring all these Indians to do it? Because they can't do it. They don't have the ability to do it. It's above their ability. Who's beating them? China's beating their ass. Everybody's beating their ass in the computer industry. They got to bring Indians over to do it because they don't want you to do it. Because I remember when they tried to do it, they said, just like you did with the karate thing, right? See, this is the media. See, they had you, this Bruce Lee thing, they had everybody black. I remember back, every black, man, they was, Chinese, most of them don't know anything about no karate. In fact, they don't even call it karate, they call it boxing over there. But they came and had Bruce Lee. So everybody thinking, man, all the Chinese, and you wouldn't get no argument with China because you thought you were going to get karate. You wouldn't get no argument with no Chinese or Japanese person, you thought you were going to get karate. And 9% don't know anything about no damn karate. But that's the media had you fooled. You were scared. Oh man, you think all of them kung fu you. But now, they got away from that because now all you got to do is be a female and weigh more than 5 pounds and you can wipe out all of China. They said in the movies, you wipe all of them out. You wipe out the Hulk and everybody. You believe that bullshit? Anyway. Right. And so they came up with this movie called I'm Alive #5. Look it up. Because they wanted people to think that Indians was the best program in the world. Just before they start bringing them in. See, the media's controlling. They control your image, everything. And you think it's just movies. No, it can't be a movie. And what Indian movie's about was this Indian guy. He made a robot that could think, that could talk and everything. He was super. I'm alive, number 5. That was the robot was named number 5. And he would say, I'm alive. And everybody thought, oh man, these Indians, man, they really super, man. And so then start bringing them in. And now this place got millions of them here. And when you look at spelling bees, you know spelling bees, look it up. The one they had recently, every year, who win? The Indians win it. This is English language, ain't it? How come they win it every year? Because they ain't smart as they telling you are. That's the media's telling you that. And the Indians, they smarter than them, but they ain't smart as us. Because I work with them. They're all right, but they ain't smart as us, because I used to have to quick fix their stuff too. They come and ask me, when nobody was looking, man, we show them how to do this. How the hell you get this? How you get in here? Then you take a tech, they take the hell out of me. See, it's another story together. See, you don't know what's going on in the background. A lot of people are the smartest people on the planet. But they got you thinking backwards, and they use your information against you. Remember that Hidden Figures? How long they hide that? Those sisters, low education, some just high school, and there was PhDs and everything else, and they was wiping the floor with them. That's a true story. I've been telling people that. They didn't want to put them in space. That's why I was hidden figures. I work with, I know. Okay? I had no degree. I ain't have high school. I had GED. Didn't even finish 9th grade. And I was killing them. And right now they still always send me stuff, especially when COVID came out. Because it got me and I'm still in the network. They kept calling me because they said, hey man, can you come in? That's another story together, because I knew this language that they don't probably use too much anymore. Okay? They don't want you to know that. So they got you with NFL and all this bullshit. And then if you try to exert yourself, I want you to get my name back, I want to get my language back, then you know right away you're going to lose that job. Because I'm going there with my name, Raheem, right? And right away, my background was so great, right? So they had to bring me up. They didn't want me around, though. They didn't want to keep me around. They love my work. They didn't love me because they couldn't control me. I ain't put with their bullshit. So they signed a contract, and they gave me extra reference. They had to do that because they know I did the job. I'm going to give you a short story. I'm going to go. I worked on AT&T. When they broke up AT&T, I was in New York. I worked in that project in 83 and 84. I worked on the project, right? And so AT&T, they had to break all the data up until all of my bells, all the different states, right? Because they couldn't be, they broke it up. So each state had their own communication network. Right, so it'd be New Jersey Bell, California Bell, whatever. Couldn't be, AT&T had all, so they broke it up. So I was working New Jersey Bell. And so in the process, all the data they had, it was tons and tons of data, millions of bytes. And so they had to figure out how to break it down by state. They didn't have to do that with AT&T, right? So they had to break it down. Okay, New Jersey, get all the people in New Jersey, had to give all the information to the Jersey people. All the people that had information for New York, so forth. But some of it was confused because they didn't have to separate before, so all the data was all mixed together. So they had to find a way to filter out everything else, right? And then they had to be able to look at it, check it, edit it to make sure it was correct. And they didn't have that part. They didn't have like they call CICS and stuff they have right now. They didn't have it back then, right? And they had like IMS, but they had this. Well, I'm not going through detail. Anyway, bottom line, they didn't have it. And so it was a big backlash. All this data was coming in, but it was going to take them 6 months to a year. And that was cost a lot of money. Because they had a deadline, they had to get the stuff out. It was building up, but they couldn't check it. Right? And so, hear me, the nigga don't have no degree or anything, right? I'm on the project. And so I'm looking at the situation. I says, wait, hold it. I said, you got a testing system here that you could use to do that, what you're trying to do. Because they brought some people in, and they was trying to design this new system so they could do that. And said, it's going to take 6 months a year to develop the system. Sent me all that battle of building. The government said, you got to get this thing broken down. I said, hey, you can use this product right here. And all you got to do is make these modifications. And he looked at me. So I went, before I told him that, right, I went and I made the modification, everything in the background, right? I tested to see if it worked. It did. Then I told them about it. They tried it. Damn. It worked. So now they had a means of doing it. It wasn't perfect, but it would allow them to do what they need to do. Because the other system would be faster because, it was designed for that. But this would allow them to do what they want to do and start, get people in and start getting this process going and start getting this data out. I say to millions and millions, maybe $1 billion, trying to do that because that stuff was building up. So after they got in there, first thing they did, they let me go. I know they let me go because they didn't want to report to their superiors. This nigga that don't have no degree or nothing, he came in and showed all these PhDs, his bachelor's degrees and master's degree clowns, white folks right here. They didn't see that. That would have been very embarrassing. I know it's a fact because it's the weirdest thing you ever know. I was there, and later, after that, not too long after that, I moved to Florida, right? So I was working at the place called GTEDS, right? It's Verizon now. I had a contract there. So one day I'm driving there, right, and there's a gas station. I never went to this gas station before, but I was like, oh man, I was too early. So let me go to this gas station and get some gas, right? It's the weirdest thing. And the supervisor that I had been that was supervisor up in New Jersey on that. I mean, on the AT&T thing, right? He's in the gas station. He said, just moved to Florida. After all this, man, hell of coincidence like that. I mean, I don't even go in this gas station. That's a hell of a coincidence, right? And so I was talking to him. I said, hey, what's happening? He says, oh man, I got a big promotion, man, and now they got me. I was able to get, because I got the promotion, right? I was able to get transferred to this thing down here in Florida, right? You're gonna charge this thing down here, right? He got the promotion and everything because he took credit for that thing I did. They had to get me out of there, so they can say that came from them. It's the weirdest thing. I said, how the hell? I mean, the time had to be perfect. He wasn't living in Florida at the time. He just got into Florida. He stopped at a gas station on his way because he told me, I'm going to go down to this new position. I'm gonna take how the hell does that happen? That was the weirdest thing, right? So that showed me that's exactly why they got rid of me, because they want to take credit for it. They do it all the time. I don't know if you know about plasma, blood plasma. Check it out. Who invented that was a black man. He invented blood plasma. How to separate how you do it. You know how he died? He was from Chicago. He died because he needed a transfusion and they wouldn't let him in the hospital because he was black. It's a fact. See, and you listen to these people like Jackson and Sharp and all these clowns, the demons and Farrakhan's bullshit. See, they distracted. We need to get the hell out of here. Because when you be a great nation, because all this innovation in the world right now is you. You got the best music, and music itself takes a lot. You got to be very smart to develop that kind of music. But you don't know it. And you just do it naturally. So if you're thinking about it, let's move on, brothers and sisters. That's what's the situation right now. Let's move on. And I'm going to close out. Okay, look at this right here. Here's the angel. Right? And so I'm looking on. And see, this is that situation right here. See, this is the bullshit. Like I said, they control our energy. So they control our minds. We have their mind they gave us. So mind just gives information to the brain. And then your brain just calculates information. So if the information is bad, you're going to make bad decisions. So people acting like that because the information they give us is wrong. But that's the only information we have. Until Elijah Muhammad came on the scene, the Master Muhammad came on the scene, and the Measure of the Covenant, this give you proper information if you get through. They're blocking it because they want to keep giving this, so that's why you acting like that. But what happens? Okay. Once that's gone, then they don't want that. See, because that information is overriding your nature. That's why you act other than yourself. Master Muhammad's getting ready to destroy all that. When that war takes place over there, that's going to destroy the economic system, which the American dream will follow right behind it, and then you won't have it exposed anymore. Now you got to decide what you want to do with it. You want to go back to being what you were before. I like being nigger, so you go back, or you going to be a warrior, kick ass, and go home. Now, feeling your now see, it's this energy right here, energy you're getting. Some energy, everybody gets same amount of energy a day, right? So what are you going to do with this energy? What do you do with the energy? Remember, you get so much energy. What you do with it? How you do it? You're going to take it exercise. You're going to take it watch NFL. It takes energy to bat your eye, to wipe it behind. It takes energy for all that. So you get so much every day. So if you use all your energy for what, then you have energy for anything else. It takes energy to keep your heart beating, to think. So how you use your energy? So here's your energy coming in. So now what you gonna do with it? That's energy taking. That's your reality, based on your energy. That's what you did with it. So if you did that way, you created paradise for yourself, right? Or you created hell for yourself. You creating hell for yourself because the devil's controlling your energy. They're controlling how you use your energy. Or you got to work here, or you live here, or you do this. See? That's where we got to get away from them. Because the reality you're creating is not for you, it's for them. So you're creating a gold reality for them and they're giving you hell reality back. But if you control your energy is going to reflect your nature. So that's how you create your paradise, and you got to keep fueling it. Because the energy you get, you keep on putting it in, and your paradise gets better and better and better. But if you stop, the paradise goes down. See, like our paradise, we went from paradise down to hell because we had no energy to keep fueling our paradise. Energy deprivation, we got less energy, we have no energy to fuel our paradise no more, so it went away. We lost control because you got to fuel it. But now we get energy now, but now somebody's controlling it, so we don't have a paradise because we got hell when we could be in paradise. That's why Elijah Muhammad, Master told we could be in heaven overnight. But as long as we sit around here and listen to Farrakhan and them, they control it. So now we live in the ghetto, we live in there, we're working 9 to 5, all this bullshit, because they control the nature of our energy. Once we get away from that, then we control it, and then we're gonna give it. It's gonna be consistent with our nature. So it's gonna be paradise because we're gonna be happy. Because you're gonna be happy being somebody else. You can't be happy being Michael Jackson. You can't be happy being Denzel. How are you gonna be happy being other than yourself? I'm a fan. I'll be like him. I'll be like Jay-Z. Why don't you be like you? That's what Muhammad said. Be yourself. Then you're in paradise. You can't be in paradise being like, how can, by definition, being like somebody else? You got to fuel it. You got to get it, and then you got to fuel it. And that's what angels are here for, to show you how to fuel it. How to fuel your own, not my paradise, not her paradise, not his, yours. Because when you get home, it says, home you return as gods. That means no one's going to control you. You're going to control your own paradise, and it's going to be exactly like you want it. That's what paradise is going to be, exactly like you want it, because no one can make it like you want it. I can't make your paradise like you want it. You can't make it like I want it. See? And the devil's got you make it like they want it. See, because the paradise you make is like they want it, so that means you making their paradise. And that's hell for you. Because that's a white man's heaven, white man's heaven is a black man's hell. That's true. Because you use your energy to create their paradise, which is hell for you. That's why I said you're working, you're fighting, you're beating yourself up in Mark. Use your energy to just feed yourself. So the man was beating himself up. Use your energy to beat yourself up. As long as we stay there, that's the situation. See? And see, they're gonna have using out the better Sunni paradise. They got our land. Now it wants to follow their idea, their idea of things. We'll follow our idea of things. God damn them. We want to follow our idea. We don't follow Sunni idea. We don't follow Hindu idea. We don't follow Arab idea. We don't follow our idea. You get it? I don't want Sunnism. I don't want Hinduism. I don't want Buddhism. I want Christianity. I want our Islam. Our history. Our nature. Our paradise. Not theirs. You get it? We gotta follow the Sunnis. No, I don't want to follow the Sunnis. In fact, they live on our land anyway. They are brothers, but they turned against us. They sold us into slavery. Yes, they did. They enslaved us too. We stood by Joseph and his brothers. I don't want your paradise. I want my paradise. But you're part of my body. So if you're in paradise, if my heart's working fine, that means my lungs gonna be happy. My lungs working fine, my heart's gonna be happy. But I don't want my heart to act like a lung. I want my lung to act like a heart. I want my heart to be happy being heart cells. I want you to be happy being who you are, not you trying to be like Jay-Z. Then you're a cancer cell. I want you to be like who you are. I want you trying to be like Michael Jackson. You be who you are. Your paradise. Then that body's happy and whole. That's the message of the covenant's job, to get you home and be yourself. And nobody's going to tell you, I don't have to tell my heart what to do. I just tell them what we need done. And it says, okay, it cooperates. The whole body cooperates, so we stay healthy. Nobody's going to tell you a goddamn thing when you get home. You turn home and says, let's make man likes our image. Means male and female. So you be happy being who you are. And I'm be happy I'm happy that you being who you are. If my foot's happy, I feel good. If my foot hurt, man, my whole body's upset. So I'm going to take care of my foot. I ain't going to step on my foot. You know, dictators. They're so-called Jesus dictator. America's a dictator. You win, right? But everybody has to do what they tell them to do. You got a veto. That's dictatorship. And they're Jesus, right? If you don't do what he say do, you going to hell forever, never, never. And you don't vote for him. And you do exactly what he tell you to do. They put your dumb ass in hell. He's a dictator. But they hate dictators. You don't get this stuff? He's a dictator. And they're dictators. And we're going to put it in. And when so-called Jesus come back, he's going to get rid of all. Remember, Satan says he control all the nations. He said, I'll kill all but America. He said, he told you, I'll kill all of them. And Jesus didn't. He said, all nations. That means Sunnism too. Control. Only way he didn't control was Jesus. And the nation he was building. Think about that one. The only way he didn't control was Jesus. He couldn't get Jesus. He couldn't get control of Jesus. But he got control of all other nations. So I got all of them. I'll give you if you bow. And he said, no, hell with you. That's the message of the covenant. Nation of Islam cleaned up. Because remember, he had to come back. It was philosophic clean up. Why? Because Pharaoh turned into shit. Simple stuff, brothers and sisters. You understand? Do you understand? Do you really understand? So they worship Satan. What is Satan's works? What would Satan's works be? Genocide, murder, rape, terror. Isn't that American history? Isn't that American history? Tell me otherwise. Isn't that American history? Genocide, rape, murder, terror, 24/7, hundreds of years. Isn't that the works of it? Isn't that what Jesus said? No, you follow the devil. You do his works. Ain't that the work? So that's the God they worship. Because he said, that's why he says he's a God. I swear he wouldn't be a God if the people, he couldn't control them. He said he had all the nations except one. That's the one that Jesus, message of the covenant, is building. He had that, couldn't get that one. Think about it. Come on, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you got it. Hopefully I can get back to doing my project on the angel. But I don't know. Hell's about to break loose any minute now, brothers and sisters. When it does, and that war starts, hell breaks loose. Farrakhan gets cast down. Read that chapter. The accused by brother get cast down. All the demons get thrown out. Nation of Islam rises. Get prepared for steps. They come to me. I don't have to go to them. They come to me. They get their mind. He prepares them for the tribulation, purification process. Goes and bring the elect, take his land back to prepare. Say, I go. What it says? I go to prepare a place for you, my father's house. I'm going over there to prepare a place for you. Take the elect. We going to prepare a place for you. Going to take them, get them, kick their ass out of there and take back our land. So when you get finished your tribulation, bam, I go to prepare a place for you. Then you got a place to come to, buildings already built and everything else. That's the promise. It's all true. It's all come together, brothers and sisters. I go to prepare a place for you. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't have told you. All it's been coming together, brothers and sisters. So when that war takes place, that vision returned, that false vision torn down, the truth, the beacon comes on bright. Man, that beacon, they're waiting for that beacon to come back on. It's got a false light on there. I'm seeking it. Oh, bam, oh, that gleam, oh man. This light's on again. Let's go over there and see, check it out. Oh, there's Message of the Covenant. Tell me what did you do? Good. Assalamu alaikum.